What is going on, everybody? Weekend video. This is going to be an interesting one because I bought the Boss PX1 Plugout FX. So this is the one that's been so controversial over the last couple of weeks on the interwebs. We're going to go ahead and unbox it, and then we're going to go ahead and just plug it in and play it. It's not going to be a full review. It's just going to be a first impressions. Should this thing be getting as much hate as the internet is giving it? And then what I'm going to do is I actually asked ChatGPT the top 5 most, like, why is this thing getting so much hate? Like, what are the things that people don't like about it, or the things that are going around on the internet about it? And we're going to discuss those and address maybe those 5 things. So stay tuned for that. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of the box. All right, so here is the box. I got this from Sweetwater. I'll leave a link to it in the description. So it looks like we have an owner's manual. We have the Roland Cloud activation card. So there's going to be some app-related something or other with this that we'll have to get into, I'm sure. Ooh, it comes with a power supply. Okay, rat. Wait. What's the deal here? I've not seen one like this before. Oh, it's got like a noise reduction coil on the power supply. Okay, cool. So that is interesting. I got another power supply out because I think you might need one. All right, and then here is the pedal. All right, so there it is. So it's got a digital display. We've got stepped knob, stepped knob, stepped knob, click, click, click. Cool. I haven't looked at anything or read anything. Control 1, 2 expression. Input A, input B. So we've got mono stereo, and output, input, output mono stereo. We've got a USB-C cable, and MIDI in, and of course power. All right, I'm not gonna bore you with the whole software side of it. I'm gonna get the app, apparently, or whatever, get that sorted out. Let's just plug this thing in and see what it does. All right, so real quick, I'll show you the app. I have it paired up to the thing. And this brings up one of the first things that people were talking about, was that you were gonna have some sort of subscription, but the bottom line is that there are 16 effects available. You see some of them are dithered out there. The ones that are not dithered out are the ones that are on the device now. I can show you those in just a second. The ones that are not are ones that you can buy, and when you click on them, then you can go through here and you can buy them. Now, here's the deal. These are for purchase, and you own them. So it's just like any other downloadable content. For those of you that are familiar with any kind of video game thing, any kind of software, any kind of anything, once you own the license to it, it's yours. So you don't have to worry about that whole pay-to-play deal or anything like that. So it's all there, which is one of the things that people were talking about, and Boss came out and said no. So, once it's on there, and once it's on your little, in your bank here, then you own the effect. Now, let's go ahead and go over to the hardware itself. Okay, and then the other thing that people were kind of talking about was, do you just get this empty box that is a device with nothing on it? And the answer is no. So you can see here we have all of these effects that are on here. So OD1, SP1, PH1, F, the phaser. So you can go through all of these and see that they are here. And basically all you do is, so basically you've got these windows down at the bottom, and whatever one of these knobs is above that is how you execute that. So we're going to execute distortion DS1, and now you have that effect. You can exit out, and we can go back and pick OD1. Execute. Now we're overdrive 1, and now we have that. And you can see it only has 2 knobs like the original pedal. So it's really pretty simple. I think the next thing, and of course you just step on it and boom, there you go. And these are your adjustments. Now, there's no arrow up here because these are, you know, infinity. And they're not, I don't know if you notice this, but they're not like 1-to-1 for the degrees. It's pretty finite adjustment. But, you know, whatever. It's kind of cool. All right, now let's just hook it up to the amp and let's see what happens. All right, so real quick, the rig we got here is our Princeton Reverb. I've got the volume turned down to about 4 so we can get as clean as possible out of a Princeton. The tone knob and the bass and the treble are on 7. We leave everything on 7 usually. A little bit of reverb there. We've got the Plugout effects, and then we'll just talk through what effects we're using and kind of talk about the interface as we go. We're using the Hello Kitty Squire with a DylanTalksTone Super 8 in it, and I think this is going to be pretty neat. So this is just our Princeton straight with nothing. So we've got, this is where we're starting with the Plugout effects with the OD1. So we'll go ahead and just turn it on. All right, so that's pretty cool. So that'll be our OD1. Let's move on to the next thing, shall we? Let's see what we got in here. SP. Let's do PH. How about that? So we're going to do the phaser, and we'll load that one up. And everything is at 12 o'clock. And we'll just see what this thing sounds like. So again, here's your clean. Turn the depth all the way up. Turn the depth all the way down. I'm just doing some extreme. This is with the depth back at 12 with the rate all the way up. Okay. Now let's go back and see what else we got in here. Compressor. DS1. Let's go ahead and load up a DS1 and see what we have there. So DS1, enter. Now we have a DS1. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Okay, that's pretty wild. We could probably go through all the effects in here. Obviously, we get the idea. All right, let's go through the top misconceptions that I found on the interwebs. It has a subscription model. You never own anything. Not true. We talked about that. Basically, you buy each little thing like a piece of software. And honestly, it makes sense. I dig it. I think it's a cool idea. I like the idea that it's just like anything else. If you own a Kemper and you buy a profile, you own that profile. If you buy a new device, you can take it off of there and put it on something else. I get that. I like that a lot. So that's cool. And then you can only use one effect at a time, so it's not very flexible. Now, this is interesting. Obviously, a Boss pedal only is one effect anyway. So instead of looking at this like a multi-effects unit, look at it like having, 16 pedals or however many you have loaded in here right now. I have 8 pedals in one. So if you were wanting to do something where you needed a few different effects, you would obviously need to put it in a pedal board. But to be able to have I like this, to be able to have a bunch of pedals in one instead of having a bunch of pedals, I think is very cool. There also, I believe, with an external switch, there's a switch function, meaning that you can toggle between 2 loaded effects with a separate switch. So technically you could run 2 at the same time, but not at the same time. So let's say you wanted to go from, one distortion to another distortion, or from one overdrive to a distortion. You could toggle between 2 loaded effects with an external switch, as far as I understand. So that would be pretty cool. If it's overpriced versus competitors, or versus getting real pedals, I disagree. It's $250. I think that lots of pedals are $250 in 2025. So to me, $250 for a pedal is nothing. It's normal. I think that's fine. Now, is it more than a Boss pedal? Yeah, but it's not more than a Boss, the fancy ones. And for the functionality that you get, first of all, it's got all the stereo and mono and all that. And the fact that you can have it as a platform for 16 different models, I think that's really cool. I think you're getting 16 pedals. You're not getting one pedal. So why treat it like one pedal? You're getting 16. I think it's really cool. Microtransactions pay for play will open the door to worse things, or that licensing rather than ownership is sketchy. Everything is that. Your cell phone is that. Our lives are that. Our lives are put your email address and password in before you can do anything. If you didn't think that it was coming to guitar stuff, I mean, you got another thing coming. I don't know what you would say. I have no answer to that. I don't understand why anyone would argue with that. I mean, this has that, right? A computer, the interface, every other piece in your signal chain has that sort of thing that you have to register it and you have to do all the stuff. So for a pedal to have that is whatever, the whole slippery slope thing about digital products. I don't know. I think it's just time to wake up and realize we're in 2025. But, that's just me. If you want to go and find a bunch of used, beat up Boss pedals on Craigslist and put them all on a pedal board, cool. But I like the convenience of this, especially for doing this kind of stuff. What I'm doing, I think it's awesome. There's my little first look and first impressions of the Plugout FX PX1. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. Maybe we'll do a more in-depth review if this makes you think of other questions. I just kind of wanted to address the big 5 that everybody was talking about. I think they're a big nothing. I think it's a totally non-issue. I think this is a great product. I don't know why everybody's making such a big deal out of it. It's pretty awesome. And I think for me, it's going to be a great tool. So I'm excited to have it. If you have any questions, get them in the comments. We will talk about it in the next one. There is a link to it in the description. If you use that link, it will definitely help out the channel. If you use that link and then buy something completely different, it will still help out the channel. So I appreciate you. Also, go to DylanTalksTone.com and buy fabulous pickups like what is in this guitar right here. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video.